Grilled sweet and tangy kalbi make for the ultimate Korean barbecue at home. Share with your family and friends and you'll be sure to please.
Aloha mai kako, my name is Relle and welcome to my outdoor kitchen. We're gonna prep some stuff up tonight. We've got some friends coming over to have a little bit of a potluck. So let's get started. We'll be making some Korean barbecue kalbi. It's way cheaper than going out to eat and you can make it at home and it's super simple. First, we'll make the marinade that you're gonna set the meat into. Into a bowl, you're gonna add shoyu, which is Japanese style soy sauce. You can find that at your local grocery store in the Asian aisle. If you can't find it, can't go wrong with Amazon, you can pick it up there. It's a sweet and tangy and salty kind of a deal. So we'll add some brown sugar. I like to use golden brown, but you can use light brown, dark brown. The darker brown you use, the more molasses flavor you'll get. You'll use a little bit of grated garlic. I like to use a garlic press. It makes it a lot easier. You totally can chop it up if you don't have one of those. I'll link the garlic press that I use in the description box below. A little bit of sesame oil. Now sesame oil is a really strong flavor, so you don't want to add too much of that. Just a teaspoon. And then some mirin. Mirin is a Japanese cooking wine. It's a little bit of sweet and tang as well. So that goes in. All of the aromatics. You'll need some ginger. I like to just slice it up, leave the skin on and just slice it into thin slices like this. Use about maybe an inch. So just a couple of slices and that just goes straight in. And then next we'll do some onions. You can just do slices is fine for this. I cut off the top, leave the root intact. That'll help keep it together when you're cutting it. And let's just do slices. This is a kind of a large one, so you probably only need half. I'll just take the root off. And that'll be enough. We can save that for another recipe. The onions go in. And then of course, green onion. Now, for me, I like to just use the tops of the green onions. Some people like to use the white parts, but I just use the top. Slice it like that, and then I save this part and you can stick it in your garden, stick it in some water on the windowsill and it'll grow. Then all you have to do is slice these up thinly. Doesn't need to be nice because you're just gonna toss it in anyway. Rough chop, that's fine. When you chop it up like that, all those extra flavors kind of come out as well, so it gets into the sauce even better. If you want to put the whites in, you can. Totally up to you. If you want the tops, you can put it. We'll just stop there because I think that's good. So the green onions will go in. Next, we'll mix it up just to get everything well incorporated. Then you'll let the kalbi marinate. I like to put it in the fridge for at least 4 hours, but overnight works perfectly fine as well. The way I like to do it is use a zip top bag and put it in, but if you want to do a tray, you can do a bowl or pan, but you need a bigger size because the kalbi is a lot bigger. Now kalbi is short ribs. They're Korean style. There's thin cut and thick cut. Now I sent my husband to the store to get me thin cut ones, but he got the thick ones, but they work just as fine. It just takes a little bit longer to cook. That's the only thing. So these ones, if you can see, they use like a bandsaw to cut through it, and there's the 3 ribs here. This one is definitely a thicker cut. The other one's a lot thinner. The marinade will stick in a lot quicker for those. So if you use this one, I'd leave it for a little bit longer. So we'll put the meat in, and you can find this in your meat section. If you don't have it, you could check and see if your butcher could slice the short ribs, not the kalbi style ones, but the regular ones that are the long cut, and have them bandsaw cut those. I wouldn't try cutting them at home unless you have the right tools. You'll put that in, and then all you have to do is pour the marinade in. And what you'll want to do is zip it up. Normally, I would put it like in a bowl and then put it in the fridge just in case you have a leak in your bag, and put it on the bottom shelf so you don't contaminate the rest of your fridge. Let the air out, kind of massage it in, and you'll let this sit. I'll put this in the fridge and we'll be right back. And through the magic of TV or YouTube, I should say, we've got an already soaked back. So remember how I was talking about to put it in something? You see how it's kind of dripped out? I probably poked it. Oh yeah, see? I probably poked it while I was putting the kalbi in, so, but that's okay. As far as grilling, you'll wanna use either charcoal, kiave, or whatever you want. If you've got burners, that's fine. You're only gonna light half of them. So half of your grill will be hot and the other half will be considered your warm section. We've got some charcoal going, so it's hot, be careful. So you wanna have it off to one side so that if it starts cooking quicker, you can move things off to the other side. We'll go ahead and get that on and we'll get started. It only takes a few minutes on each side. This one is a little bit thicker, like I mentioned, it's a thicker cut, so it'll take a little bit longer to cook than if I had the traditional thin cut one. So I just wanna shake off the excess marinade, and you'll wanna spray it first. Don't forget to spray it. I've done this before. What happens is things stick, and when it sticks, it's not so great. So a non-stick cooking spray, careful, it'll flare up if there's some fire under there. Non-stick cooking spray to help it not stick, or you can use some oil to make sure that it stays together. I apologize for that, but we'll get those on. Shake off the excess. Jeez, this is the big one. And to get it to cook a little bit faster, you can close the top, as that'll keep the heat in and it'll cook a little bit quicker. I will be back in a couple of minutes and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, now that it's been grilling for a few minutes, we can go ahead and flip it over and cook it on the other side. Careful of all that smoke. So take a look. Ooh, and you see how it's nice and charred? That's perfect. So we'll flip it over. Again, remember, these ones are the thick cut, so they'll take a little bit longer than the other one if you get the thin cut. So you're really gonna have to watch. It's not like an exact time where, okay, at 5 minutes you're good. You're gonna have to monitor these ones. All right, I think I hear my friends coming, so we better get ready for that potluck.
Growing up in Hawaii, we always had family parties for every occasion. Birthdays, Aloha Fridays, holidays, graduations, baby luau's, you name it, we got together. Everyone brought a dish to share. Mom taught me you don't show up to someone's house empty-handed. You always brought some type of food or drink to share. Potlucks have become such a huge part of Hawaiian culture. Family gatherings, sporting events, or hanging out with friends just because, like we're planning on doing today. Once I finish this recipe up, we'll have some friends over to share this delicious meal.
So we'll take this off the grill and we'll get set up for that. Look at that, super yummy. And for garnish, what I like to put on top is a little bit of green onion. So the same type of green onions that we used to make the marinade, you just sprinkle it over like that. You can try and make it fancy and get it how you want, but for me, I just drop it. And as you can see, they kind of fly all over anyway. And some toasted sesame seeds. Make sure you get the toasted one. It gives a lot more flavor like that. Just sprinkle that over the top. And let's get ready for that potluck.
If you love kalbi and you love Korean barbecue, then I've got the perfect side dish for you. And after all, every main dish needs a side dish. But check out this ono kimchi from the Pili Flow Farm here on Maui. If you're on Maui, check them out and give them a try.